and welcome back to A Life Learned. If you're a regular subscriber of mine, you'll see that there's been a ton of changes on the channel, all from my hair to the background to even the camera that I'm recording with. Almost everything has changed about the channel, but I'm still all about learning and sharing experiences, and so just to be relevant, today I want to talk to everybody about how awesome change can be and how it really can be better than a holiday.
An idea.
An escape.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Becca here, and as I was mentioning, I have had so many changes happen on my channel recently, but they're all to make things better, of course, and that's what change can be if you let it. It can be for the better, it can be for the good, better than a holiday, as I was saying. And the main way to feel this way about change is to be in control of it. There's actually a lot of science around how the brain reacts to change, and most all situations of change spark the prefrontal cortex of your brain, which is connected to the amygdala, and so when this change is overwhelming and it overwhelms that prefrontal cortex, it'll revert to the amygdala to respond. And the amygdala tends to control your fight or flight type responses, so this is why a lot of people can have negative or fearful responses to change. But as I was saying, if you can take control of that change, we tend to feel a lot better about it. And so of course this means staying attuned to your life and recognizing when changes might be needed and then thus taking control to make them. But in a lot of cases, change happens in our life where we don't have control, and of course those are the most uncomfortable times, but you can still have control in those situations as well by simply accepting that the change has to happen and then trying to find reasons for yourself why it's a better way to go, why it is better than previously, to give yourself reason to move forward with it, and also make your own little adjustments and changes within that experience that can make it more comfortable for you or more familiar. So an example of this would be that I changed my entire background, except I kept the Starry Night. So a little bit of familiarity there, but at the same time, still a ton of change. Or in cases where you have less control, if there's some way that you can incorporate little comforts or familiarities into that change, it can be really helpful in it not feeling so negative. And so in the case of me having to move, for example, that wasn't entirely a choice I had, it was something that I simply had to do, but I made sure that where I was moving was accommodating to what I wanted to do with my life and staying interactive with people, and I also made sure that the space was well to accommodate my needs and wanting to run my channel and everything and just getting by. And so there's little things, little details that you might be able to control about a situation that can make you feel better about the overall change, even if it's not fully in your control. And another thing that is really helpful in just feeling better about change in general is incorporating it into your life on a regular basis. So just being more open to different things, to trying different things, trying a different way to go to work, trying a different dessert, trying something that you've never done before, just because it means change in your life. Because in this way, you'll constantly be sparking your prefrontal cortex, and it won't be so overwhelming when bigger changes happen because you'll be more used to constant little changes. And so there's a good possibility that you won't have such a negative response to that change that you're facing. So an example of this is that every space that I end up having to move to, of course I don't like moving, but the way that I feel more comfortable about being in these new spaces is I put up my posters and my pictures, and I put all my little trinkets everywhere and make it feel homey. And so these are little comforts that can help me adjust to the change, despite how big or small it might be, just as an example. And if there is some way that you can take control of big changes in your life, it's good to try and break them into stages, as that will help you in adjusting to it. So in the case of this channel, I've spent the last week slowly building all the different things that I needed in order to make my new videos. And I took the time to put my posters up, I took the time to set up my computer and learn my camera, and slowly built the new channel and the new setup throughout the week, trying to do it in little stages, such as trying to make all the changes in little bits and stages so that it wasn't too much for me in one day. So when I first moved, I got my hair done, and then I slowly started working on the posters. They actually involved a little bit of cutting and stuff, so started getting on that, and then I actually had to get a desk, so worked on getting myself a desk for my computer, and I just took it slow. And that's the idea, is to try and take it in a comfortable fashion in different steps that can make it more manageable for you. And another way to try and adjust to a lot of different changes is to try and see them in all kinds of different ways. So if this this comes to a broad concept that you're learning about, change, say, in transferring from fossil fuels over to electrical powered vehicles, read about it, watch movies about it, watch documentaries about it, watch YouTube videos about it, slideshows, anything. Expand your mind and try to reach out into all kinds of different ways to express these new changes that you're experiencing, and that will really help you in seeing it in all different ways, and thus, with more information, feeling better about it overall. So in the case of my channel constantly changing, if you've been a regular subscriber of mine, you'll see that I've been making changes ever since I started. There's been kind of very little consistency, except for, of course, Starry Night in the background. And I felt kind of bad about this. I felt really inconsistent about it. But I took a look at other channels and saw that everyone grows like that. Everyone develops and changes and learns new things and then makes adjustments to their channels accordingly. So in that sense, I gathered more information about the change that I was experiencing to help me feel better about it overall. So anyways, change can just be a really hard thing to go through one way or the other, but it can be a great thing. It really can be incredibly refreshing, and as I said, better than a holiday if you try your best to just take control of it in whatever way you possibly can. So I hope you enjoyed all the changes that I've made to my channel. Please feel free to comment below if you've noticed any of these changes as a regular subscriber. And if you're not a regular subscriber, I hope you learned a little bit about how change really can be good for you and how you can take control of it and feel better about it in your life. Because in the end, life is change. It's kind of inevitable, so it's kind of in your benefit to see it in a positive way. So I hope you enjoyed my video and learned a little bit about the experience of change in life. And please join me again next week where I try again to share a little something I've learned in life.